Stop reading books. No, seriously. If you've read more than 10 nonfiction books, I've got a shocker for you. You've probably forgotten 90% of them. That history book? Gone. That business course? Poof! That advice you were going to use to get rich? Straight up disappeared. You spent hours grinding, highlighting pages, and taking notes, but a week later, your brain is straight up empty. You think the problem is your memory, but that's cap. The problem is your system. I'm Edward, and I'm going to show you the 3-hour system to remember 90% of any book, not by reading faster, but by learning how to digest information like a total goat. The big lie about learning. Let's be honest. Your brain is a leaky bucket. You pour knowledge in, you read a book, you watch a documentary, but it instantly leaks out. Why? Because you've been taught the big lie of consumption. The big lie is that learning is the same as consuming. We think read more equals get smarter. So you download a speed reading app. You listen to a podcast at 2x speed. You feel good because you finished the book, but you're just force-feeding your brain and never letting it chew. This is the fastest way to get mental vomit. Your brain is overloaded, so it purges everything to protect itself. That feeling of frustration, that's your brain telling you that your current system is busted. Let's call out the worst offenders. Number 1, highlighting. When you highlight, you're not thinking, you're just moving a yellow marker. Later, when you look at the page, everything is yellow, which means nothing is important. It gives you the vibe of work without doing the actual work. Number 2, speed reading. Speed reading is for skimming. It's for finding a specific name or date. It is not for deep understanding. You are just running your eyes over the words. Real learning needs you to be slow, pause, and connect the dots. Number 3, cramming. Trying to force a whole chapter into your head before a test. That's short-term memory, baby. It works for one night. A week later, it's dust. That's the famous forgetting curve hitting you hard. The 2-stage fix. The fix is simple, but nobody talks about it. You need a 2-stage system that turns information into knowledge. Stage 1, consumption, the easy part, the reading, the listening. Stage 2, digestion, the hard part, the retention, the part you skip. Think of it like cooking a meal. Consumption is buying the groceries. That's easy. Digestion is actually cooking, seasoning, and eating the food. If you skip the cooking, you just have raw ingredients that rot. If you skip digestion, you have information that disappears. The secret is to balance the two. For every hour of consumption, you need 30 minutes of digestion. This is the secret of every high performer. In the next part, we are diving into the ultimate digestion cheat code, the PACER framework. This framework tells you exactly what to do with every single type of information in any book. Do not click away.
All right, let's get down to business. If you want to remember what you read, you need to understand that not all information is the same. A statistic is different from a theory. A theory is different from a recipe. You can't learn them the same way. The world's best learners use a system that treats each type of information differently. I call it the PACER framework. P, procedural, the how-to info. Definition. This is the how-to knowledge. It's a set of steps, a skill, a technique, like a recipe, a yoga pose, or a public speaking technique. The mistake. People try to memorize the steps in their head. You write the steps in a list and think you've learned it. That's a fail. The fix. Practice it. Procedural knowledge has to live in your muscle memory, not just your brain. You can't learn to swim from a book. You got to get in the water. The rule. When you read a how-to, stop reading and start doing. If you learn a new trick for a spreadsheet, open the sheet and use it 3 times right now. If you read a new listening technique, use it in your next conversation. Immediacy is key. The shorter the loop between learning and doing, the stronger the knowledge. If you can't practice now, schedule it. Put a non-negotiable appointment in your calendar for tomorrow. A. Analogous, the bridge info. Definition. Analogous information uses a connection to help you understand a new, hard idea. Like saying, your business is like a sports team. Or the economy is like a river. It builds a bridge from something you know to something you don't. The mistake. You just accept the analogy and move on. That's passive, weak learning. The fix. Critique it. When you find an analogy, you don't just accept it, you interrogate it. You ask it 3 powerful questions. 1. How is it correct? Where does the comparison work? Like, a sports team has a shared goal to win. 2. How is it wrong? Where does the analogy break down? E.g., in business, the game never ends and the stakes are higher. 3. Can I create a better one? Try to make your own analogy that's more personal or accurate. This forces your brain to truly digest the new concept. Critiquing the analogy makes your understanding deeper than the author's. You're not just a student, you're now a co-thinker. Small hook. We've covered P and A. In the next part, we tackle C, the biggest ideas in the book, and I'll show you why taking notes in a straight list is destroying your ability to learn. Get ready to learn how to map your knowledge like a pro.
Welcome back. If you're still here, you're already in the top 1% of learners. Let's tackle the meat of any nonfiction book, the concepts and the proof. C. Conceptual, the why and what info. Definition. These are the big ideas, the theories, the principles, and the frameworks. Things like the law of supply and demand, or a philosophy like Stoicism. This is the stuff you came for. The mistake. You read the concept and take notes in a list. You copy the chapter title, then the main points, top to bottom. But experts don't think in lists. Experts think in networks. The fix. Map it. The most effective way to digest a concept is to draw a mind map, not in the book, but on a separate blank sheet of paper. The rule. Write the main concept in the center of the page, circled. Find the supporting ideas and draw lines branching out. Use lines and arrows to show the relationships. How does idea A affect idea B? If supply goes down, draw an arrow to price going up. This forces you to become an intellectual cartographer, building the author's argument in your own way. When you see the connections, you don't forget the whole thing. You remember the entire structure, and that is money. E. Evidence. The proof info. Definition. This is the proof that supports the concepts. It includes statistics, dates, case studies, and real-life stories. For example, the concept is exercise is good for your brain. The evidence is a 2018 study found a 30% lower risk of cognitive decline. The mistake. You try to memorize all the dates and percentages while you read. That clogs your brain and distracts you from the main concept. Bad investment. The fix. Store and rehearse. You need a second brain, a digital vault outside your head. The rule. Store. When you find a powerful statistic, don't memorize it. Extract it from the book and copy it into a digital app like Notion, Evernote, or Google Keep. Tag it with the concept it supports, like exercise, brain health. Your brain is now free to focus on the big ideas. Rehearse. You rehearse by using the evidence later. Next time you talk to a friend about exercise, you open your app and grab that 30% statistic to sound like an expert. Retrieval, pulling the info out, is what builds long-term memory. Small hook. We're nearly done with the framework. In the last part, I'm giving you the ultimate cheat code for facts, R, and I'm putting all 5 pacer steps into a simple 3-step routine that guarantees 90% retention. You can't afford to miss it. This is it, the final piece of the puzzle and the promise-keeping moment.
Reference. These are the smallest, most specific facts, definitions, foreign terms, specific dates or formulas. Knowledge that must be memorized exactly. The mistake. Brute force repetition. You repeat the word 100 times until you hate it. Slowest, most boring, and least efficient way to learn. The fix. Store and rehearse with spaced repetition, SRS. The rule. Store. When you find a fact you absolutely must memorize, immediately create a digital flashcard in an app like Anki. Front. What is Stoicism? Back. A philosophy that teaches self-control and fortitude as a means to overcome destructive emotions. Rehearse. This is the magic. An SRS app uses an algorithm to show you the flashcard right before you're about to forget it. The time between reviews gets longer and longer, from minutes to days to weeks. This is the most scientifically efficient way to memorize facts ever discovered. Spend 10 minutes a day reviewing the cards the app tells you to review, and those facts are locked in forever. The final 3-step workflow, the 3-hour promise. This is how you put Pacer into action to remember 90% of what you read. Step 1. The pre-read ritual, 2 minutes. Before you open the book, ask one question. What problem do I want this book to solve? Write it down. This turns passive reading into active search mission. Jump to the chapters that solve your problem first. Step 2. The digest session for 30 minutes per 1 hour of reading. This is the investment. When you finish reading for the day, close the book and spend 30 minutes applying the Pacer framework. P. Procedural. Plan or practice the skill immediately. A. Analogous. Critique the comparison. C. Conceptual. Mind map the big ideas on paper. E. Evidence. Store the proof in your second brain. R. Reference. Create Anki flashcards for new facts. Step 3. The weekly review. 15 minutes. Every Sunday, spend 15 minutes reviewing your Anki cards and looking at your mind maps. Use the knowledge. Talk about the ideas with a friend. Apply the advice to a problem. That's the retention lock. Over-deliver. The 3-hour shock. You've been playing the learning game with the brakes on. You were focused on consumption, the 100 hours it takes to read a book. The secret is the 3 hours you spend on digestion. Those few hours applying Pacer are the only hours that separate an empty bucket from a knowledge vault. The reading is easy, the digestion is the work, but the payoff is immense. You now know the system. If you're ready to stop wasting your time and start building a real library of knowledge in your mind, then smash that subscribe button now. I'm Edward. Stop consuming, start digesting. Peace out.